Casino workers of Reddit, what is the saddest thing you have witnessed that is gambling related? A friend of mine used to work at the daycare in a casino. A daycare. They served them meals and had snack they could buy. There was one kid she just made a name tag for in advance because he was there so much. All day. Every day all summer long my brother and I were put in the daycare in the casino. We also stayed at a hotel near the casino. We just remember the daycare as being fun, biggest jungle gym and ball pit ever, and didn't really focus on the fact our grandparents were upstairs gambling their lives away. I'm a little happier knowing that the kids at least have a really good time. I was picturing one of those sad little grocery store kid rooms with a handful of chewed up books, a little plastic house, and a TV always playing the middle half of Tarzan 2. Somehow this only makes the hellish portrait make more sense. I went to casino daycares a few times as a kid. They're actually pretty great, assuming it's just a once in a while thing. Meant the whole family could go on a trip and have fun when the adults want to gamble. The daycare area was very kid friendly, no references to gambling where kids could see, had a large play area with lots of things to play on, and even had a small arcade in the ones I went to. As long as the adults don't have a gambling addiction, it works really well. I worked in the restaurant of a casino. We had a mother and daughter who were regulars, but not there every day. Maybe once or twice a week they'd come in and spend at least 8 hours on the slot machines. One time they hit it big. They won the jackpot, which if memory serves, was about £15k. They looked so happy, and they were crying tears of joy. I was happy for them. They were really nice people. Instead of going home and enjoying their winnings, they stuck around feeding more money into the machine. They came back every day for the next week. Within that week the £15k was gone. After another week they were both banned for asking other guests for money to borrow so they could play. Dopamine is a drug, and gambling feeds it. I'm really late to this party, but I saw in a documentary that normal people get a dopamine rush when they win, which if you've been to a casino, is infrequent. Compulsive gamblers on the other hand get the dopamine when they win, or when they nearly win. So to them, //7 is the same as //bar. They did a scan of brainwave activity and showed the similarities in activity. That's why they get hooked so easily. They get a rush out of most outcomes. I'm prone to becoming a compulsive gambler. I'm glad I set a limit any time I go. Thinking back, the last time I gambled I was practically fighting myself to stop after I hit my self-defined limit. Good for you for recognizing it. My biological father was a gambling addict and I can definitely feel it in me too. Just no self-control or moderation here. I once read that a lot of the addiction comes not necessarily from the prize, but the thrill of winning. Like 15 years ago my husband was a bar porter at a casino. He would bus his cart around for everyone in the middle of the night and get off in the morning. He says when he would come back the next evening some of the people playing the slots would still be there from the previous night. They would wear diapers, they didn't have to leave their machine. Worked casino security, would always find panties and underwear stuffed between machines. Maybe they pissed them, no idea, didn't smell them. Worst person I saw, spent over $30k on table games over 3 days, never left the casino. Best guy I ever saw, would come in every Friday, play $500, maximum bet, on blackjack. Win 3 times, and he walks out with 2k, never in the casino longer than 15 minutes. Won far more often than he ever lost. Yes, some days he would lose on the first hand, but I would say 80+% of the time he walked out with between 1k to 2k, never playing more than 3 hands. Probably a good idea. Wait, so I'm supposed to believe this man found panties and did not smell them? This isn't some Hari Manam, dude. Too busy tasting them. I've worked in casinos for over a decade and the saddest thing I routinely see is young children standing around waiting on their parents to finish gambling. We track down the parents and make them leave, but they always come back. Former casino security here. We routinely patrolled the parking lots looking for children in cars waiting on their parents and would more often than not find them. We'd call the police department who would then get social services involved. Haha, casino security. That reminds me of a thing that happened when I was a kid. Let me preface this story by saying my parents aren't gamblers at all. They dabble a bit when on vacations, but are very thrifty people. So, I was about 8 and my sister 10 back in the 90s. We were taking a family vacation and passed through Las Vegas, stayed in Circus. My parents taught us about stranger danger stuff and trusted us enough to take care of ourselves. We would go off to the arcades and watch the free circus acts while my parents went to the casino to play penny slots and enjoy some time. My sister and I were waiting near the casino entrance to meet up with our parents and playing with our arcade prizes when the casino guard near the door approached us with a worried face and asked us where our parents were. We assured him that our parents will be coming out soon. Don't worry about it. Anyway, he didn't seem that convinced, but went back to his place, glancing over at us occasionally. Soon after that, our parents came out and got us. I've always thought back to that guy over the years, and when I got older, understood where he was coming from. Poor guy, just looking at two seemingly abandoned kids sitting around on the carpet, but we were having tons of fun. But I really appreciated the thought. Thank you for caring, dude. Yeah, I would have certainly approached you. We had parents just leave them in the lobby too. Calling the police due to a child locked in a hot car is a near daily occurrence. Old people shitting on the floor so they don't have to go far from their slot machine. Old people dying at their machines. A grown man in a full-on toddler tantrum, laying on ground flailing legs/arms because he got cut off by the bar. Obvious prostitutes arguing that they are legitimate patrons. Old people dying? What? Yeah. Usually it's a diabetic who sits there for 10+ hours and never takes their meds. How often does that kind of thing happen? I worked at 2 different casinos in 2 different states. In both of them, it happened about twice a year. That's not great but better than I thought, lol. You die where you're spending your time. Not a casino worker, but I do remember a story that I still think about to this day. I was in Niagara Falls many years ago, Canada, and started playing blackjack at a cheaper table, $5 minimum. Played for a while and started doing well. Another player joined in. He had a mental impairment that I can't pinpoint. He was friendly enough and said his goal was to get a comped breakfast. For those who don't know, if you have a membership card to the casino you can usually earn points towards free stuff while you play games. The table starts hitting a nice streak. House busts quite a bit and we are all profiting. At this point the new guy earned himself about $100. We joke with him that now he can buy us all breakfast, that sort of thing. More time passes and he's betting table maximum now. I believe he was up past $800 or so. I was also happily up a few hundred as well. We start to get a bit of a crowd and he asks the dealer if he has enough points for a free breakfast now. We all laugh, but turns out he was dead serious. The dealer asks the pit boss, who replies not yet, with a smile. Well, as luck usually works, the table starts losing. Buddy is still betting maximum and falling fast. He keeps asking if he earned his breakfast yet. We're all starting to insist that he could walk away now and buy himself the best breakfast in town many times over, but he was completely focused on getting this one comped breakfast. Every time he asked, the pit boss just kept saying nope, not yet. Even the dealer at one point was politely suggesting that the pit boss just ring it up. You could tell something wasn't quite right with the guy at the table and it really started feeling cruel, you know? Anyway, the guy ends up losing it all. The crowd that formed to watch were sort of in disbelief, and the last time he asks the pit boss if he earned his breakfast, the guy looks over, sees that he's out of money and says, "Yep, you just earned your breakfast. Congratulations." The player was happy that he won the breakfast, but none of us were even sure he understood what he lost to make it. I left the table as soon as that happened, rather furious that the pit boss was that heartless. I realize it's a business, but come on. I rarely play blackjack anymore, and I never went back to that casino. Eyes on the prize. You're a prize. Well, one on the prize, one on that other prize, way off to the right. I was dealing blackjack one day. Only one guy at my table. Looked to be about 45 to 50. We had been playing for a while, and the poor guy couldn't win to save his life. He was playing right, splitting 8s and aces, staying on 17s, the whole 9. One hand I have an ace up, and open insurance. He looks at me, his nose a little red and his eyes wet. "Are you alright, sir?" He broke down crying. The poor dude had just lost his wife to his gambling addiction earlier that day. She couldn't take it anymore. I tried to console him. "We have a program at my casino that will limit your gambling to help your addiction." He cheered up and later visited to thank me, saying he got his wife back and turned his life around. Wow. A happy ending in a thread full of misery, desperation, and death. And diapers. How the people described here didn't even bother with those and just went in their pants and stuffed the dirty undergarments in between the machines. Meter. This thread has got so many depressing stories, and it's all because of the mindset people have when gambling. My dad taught me that when you go to a casino, you shouldn't be thinking about making money. You are there for entertainment, and that entertainment costs money. If you're lucky and wise, you can walk away slightly ahead or maybe just break even, but most times expect to walk out having paid money for the time and there. Not a terrible philosophy, no. To add on to this, you can decide how much the entertainment of a casino is worth to you. Dedicate an amount of money you can afford to lose, and leave the rest at home. Yeah, that was the next part of the advice. Go in with a set amount in one pocket. Put a fraction of that on the table. If you're lucky and double that amount, you take half of it and out it in your left pocket. You can keep reaching in your right all you want till that initial set amount is gone, but never the left. I think you need to be mental predisposed to gambling addiction. I think I'm not one of them, but I like to go to casinos a couple times a year to blow 50 euros. I could have a ton of money with me, and I do, in the credit cards, and never pass that limit. And so is everyone who's not a gambling addict. It's like when an alcoholic drinks VS and on one.